Hello everyone, and welcome back to another WARNO Deck Deep Dive, as we go into the 35th US Infantry Division, the National Guard boys this time, and as I said last week, I still had to figure them out. They have a cool couple of options, and a cool couple of limitations as well, but I think I have them now down, and I really enjoy playing them. So yeah, before we go in though, quick shout out to the WARNO League Season 2, as if you want to have some competitive WARNO in your life, consider signing up for the league, no matter what skill level you're at. As per usual, we're gonna have a split into 4 divisions, which is a split into 4 skill levels as well. So if you're a newbie, you are welcome. If you are intermediate, you are welcome, and you will have good competitive tournament action. And if you're a pro, you're welcome as well. Division 1 full of pros will be there for you as well. And there will be a prize pool there as well for the top level. So, yep, consider signing up. 14th of September is the last day to sign up. 16th of September we start with the group stage, which will go over 5 weeks, and it's one round per week, so it's not that much time investment either. And yep, with that said, let's jump back in though into the deck deep dive, as we're gonna talk a bit about the National Guard boys here, and we're gonna start in the logistics tab, which is okay. Like, you could actually get a decent amount of cards here. I just went with 2 supply cards with the goat and the M813. Big boy that gives you the supply for all your important artillery units and stuff. And then the small boy for the front line to resupply. Really important here in this deck, to resupply your M67s and co. You really want to have a lot of those going around. And then, yeah, the MUD CP here as another unit. I kind of wish I could get another supply card in, but it is pretty tough. And another big one is also not the first priority either. Infantry-wise, you're here full with M67s, and they are lovely. The M67 spam is really strong. We go with double National Guard M67 engineers, and then we go some units in M113s here with the engineer flamethrowers with 12 hit points, and the National Guard engineers here with 10 hit points, and then some more M67s here with the normal National Guard rifles that come with an M113 as well. And then, yeah, for the beginning, you usually want to start fast with some military patrol and military police M67s and the National Guards, and then followed up a bit slower here, but with the extra firepower of the 50 cal on the M113 here with the engineers and rifles. Really good infantry tab. The M67s do a good job. And the cheap price point of the National Guards is quite nice as well, and you can take them in veterancy, so it's... Plus you have the military police forces to keep them in check. You really want to learn how to use the military police, but and combine these, but if you do, the National Guard really packs a punch, and you get a good amount of units as well, even with upvetting most of them. Tank tab gives you a lot of options as well. You get, even with veterancy here, still a lot of tanks. And you want to keep these guys pushing, so yeah, I use them with veterancy as well. You want to combine them with the Humvee military police, so that they keep the stress levels low and that they can function. Those Humvees coming around is pretty important. And yeah, then you have some long range M60s here with the TTS and the TTS era that do a decent job at sniping things from long range, and these guys here with the 50 cal and the XRMG are really efficient tanks for just pushing through on the front line with your infantry, giving you extra firepower. The HE firepower of this is through the roof, and it's pretty efficient at dealing with APCs and IFVs as well, so that is nice. And then for having something to keep away the long range enemies and the heavier tanks, you need the TOW 2 M150 and the ITO quick Jeep here. Those are pretty important. That's why we take 2 cards here of ATGM vehicles. I considered taking a second TOW 2 vehicle, though the ITO with the better stealth and so on still has its selling points, and that's why we take these 2 here as an option. Artillery in this deck, the MR10 to really destroy things is pretty decent as well, though the small price reduction on it is not really worth the debuffs it gets in aim time and so on. Compared to a normal MR10, it's slightly weaker in my eyes, but it's still good. And then the mortar comes around for smoke laying, which is pretty important because you want to get into that 1025 meter range. So the smoke laying in front of your units with the mortar is pretty important so that your infantry and stuff can push forward, especially on more open maps. So this being self-propelled and so on is pretty important as well. And you want to get quite a couple of them in those kind of scenarios. Recon tech is a good one as well. The National Guard Cav Scouts with Dragon 2s, or no, normal Dragons, but yeah, they can be nice at the rush in the early game. Even with the Dragon nerf, getting a unit that has 1250 meter range to zone out enemies is nice. And the Savvy is a really cheap recon unit with exceptional optics, which is cool as well. And then the ACAF is there to push with the rest of your tank push and give them a bit better optics, so it's quite nice as well. One thing that you see a lot at the moment is the National Guard Scouts plus ACAF. I try to like it. I kind of don't, because I want my early guys to be fast. If I would take something out for it, it would be the M60 ACAF. But I still find, even for 45 points, the ACAF not that great. So yeah, I'd rather take the M60 here at the moment. It looks pretty menacing and gives you a lot of recon units. That's the strong part about it. But I feel like with 13 recon units and 10 recon infantry, you get through most of the games anyways. So I'm not really in the feeling for the National Guard Scouts here. AA, decent tap as well. Do you have really good options? You even have an Eyehawk that is not National Guard. But the Roland really helps with pushing forward. That's why I take it over the Eyehawk. The National Guard Stingers, you get a decent amount of guys on one vet as well, 8 of them, and at that point they're pretty good as well, as they're dirt cheap for 5 damage missile that also has good range. Like, sure, they have a bit worse aim time and so on, but the one vet helps with that. And then the Duster is pretty solid at protecting you against helicopters, as it has good range there, and can help out a bit with HE fire support as well, but especially the protection against helicopters is the key thing here with this thing, as unfortunately the HE damage against infantry still not perfect. Helicopters, having cheap Cobras currently is key. Having 3 availability Cobras is kind of sick. It's only 1 card, but it's pretty sick, not gonna lie. That makes this really nice. The gunship, unfortunately, not that great, but yeah, having just 5 Cobras on 2 cards flying around dealing damage is pretty fantastic. And then air tap, you want the F-16Cs here to protect your ground assets. And they are really strong still, even with the price nerfs. You want to have them around your Rolands. And then the AT, you absolutely need, especially since the buff to the Maverick, you need these guys to kill enemy heavy tanks against divisions that can feel a good couple of heavy tanks. There, the Maverick comes in so clutch. And then the F-111 LGB2, one-hitting heavy tanks and so on as well, can be really important as well. So yeah, the seat to allow these two to get through, I feel like is a nice addition. You could change it out for another AT plane with the F-16 AT or another LGB, but I find having the option for the seat is quite nice, just to fly around and suppress his enemy air defenses if necessary. There are some key scenarios, and he usually don't use more than 3 AT planes anyways. So yeah, having the Wild Weasel option there feels quite nice. The HE version is not really necessary. You have enough HE in all your other tabs that I've never felt the need for actually having HE bombing going on anywhere. So yeah, this is the 35th Infantry. Let me know what you think down below. How much fun have you had with it so far? I really enjoy it, and I actually feel like it's stronger than expected by a lot of people, and the National Guard debuffs are not as bad as some feared, and I feel like really this division can kick ass. So yeah, see you all next time, guys. Bye bye, and have a great day.